Is building a brand on Amazon just a waste of time? That's a really common question that I get asked by new Amazon sellers. And here are some other ones. Do I need to build a brand around similar or complementary products? Do I need to think about building a whole brand when I'm just looking at my first product? Can I build a brand around products that aren't related? And do I even need to have a brand name on my product? So with all these questions out there, when it comes to branding, which is the right approach for new Amazon sellers looking to find and sell their first product? I'm going to give you my perspective on all of these, and my answers might surprise you. All right, guys, welcome to the video. And if you're new to the channel, welcome as well. I'm going to get straight into it now. I'm going to read off some notes. Make sure if you do get value out of this video, smash that like button and make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell as well. So first, I wanted to start by actually defining what's the alternative. If we don't have a brand, what do we actually have? We're going to have a cash flow business as the alternative. And to explain that a little bit further, I mean, this is pretty much what you're going to see taught most of the time for Amazon FBA private label. A cash flow business is just like where your products are kind of like investments. You just invest money in this product and you're just taking sales on Amazon. You're generating income from that, revenue and income, and then you're getting paid just like an investment. It has a return on investment. And in this case, the only connection between your company and the person buying your product is that they're an Amazon customer and you don't know much more about them and you don't care because they just gave you money. So that's what I mean by a cash flow business. It's more mechanical, more technical, and it can still pay you a lot of money, don't get me wrong. So moving from that to the other term that we're talking about, which is a brand, this is more of an intangible thing. This is where you're actually building up, other than just money in products, in physical products, and Amazon customers who are clicking and buying that product, you're actually starting to build up something that is an audience that you can actually use as an asset. Now that isn't a real physical thing. You can't pick it up and hold it, but it has value. So that's customer loyalty. It's an email list. It's an audience. It's ways of contacting and communicating with those customers who know, recognize, and trust your brand outside of Amazon, so that they will keep coming back to you, whether it's on Amazon or off Amazon, and buying from you again and again in the future. So that's like a real brand. And there's a really important distinction here, because a lot of the time when we talk in the Amazon FBA private labeling context, when we say brand, that's not really what we mean, or we don't really get there. Realistically, in private labeling, what most people are doing on Amazon is not up to that level. It's really just a more bare bones definition of branding, which is where you take a product that might be generic and then you put your brand name on it, and you can create that brand from scratch. All you have to do is make sure that it isn't, copyrighted or trademarked. And then that is suddenly your brand name. And yes, at a minimum, you have to be doing that for private label. If you are literally selling the same generic product as your competitors without even differentiating it with some sort of visual logo or brand name, you are inviting your listing to get hijacked and competition to just come in and take over. So if you're not even doing that basic definition of branding, then you're kind of going to be in trouble on Amazon. So I'm really talking about that next level, which is the audience, the customer loyalty, and those customers that are coming back and back. And here's the honest truth. There is a huge difference between the two, and very few brands on Amazon are those real brands in the truest sense of the term that I talked about. One way to check is to go and start typing in brand names as search terms into Amazon, or better yet, into Amazon, a keyword research tool like Helium 10, and just see how much search volume there actually is for those brand names. Now, for sure, for a lot of household brand names, the search volume is really high. But honestly, for most private label brands, nobody or almost nobody is actually searching for that brand name. They're just coming in looking for the product, and that's what you need to rank for. And again, it's this mechanical process. Now, again, I'm not saying don't brand your product. You need to do it, but let's be clear about what level of branding is a good trade-off of time and effort for the payoff. So here are my thoughts around how much effort you should actually expend trying to build a brand around that first product, or narrowing your search down to products which will allow you to build a brand around them in the future. So in terms of that audience, and again, that's what a true brand is. It's a loyal customer base, people who recognize the product, people who are going to come back again and again and recommend it to their friends. Don't expect that you'll build up that audience unless you do additional work. So that means social media, that means going, having a website, having a brand story, and really actually standing for something that your customers can connect with. And that can be a reputation, it could be an idea, it could be an origin story or a movement, but it's got to be something that resonates with your customers. And if you don't get all of those pieces in place correctly, then it could be a lot more effort than it's actually worth, because a lot of times if people can see that something's just not quite right, they will actually be turned off. And so instead of building an audience and building a brand, you'll actually be, well, hurting it or not building one. If you do get it right, and this is a hard part, it's a skill set that is actually pretty much separate to the Amazon private label type business model. But if you get it right, you'll have loyal customers coming back again and again. You'll be able to launch products much easier into the future, and you will make it a lot more long-term sustainable for yourself. But I can't stress this enough. Doing all of that and getting it all right is really hard to do, particularly if this is your first sort of foray into online business. Because here's the beauty of Amazon, and here's why I was able to start such a successful business so quickly, is that it's a business in a box, basically. You don't have to worry about all of this sort of stuff, and you can very quickly get this, cash flow business up and running, make it really profitable, and get it paying you a lot of money in a short period of time. And the kicker is, even with that sort of basic definition of branding, which I mentioned at the start, where you aren't really building up this sort of loyalty, but you are using the same brand around complementary related products that are selling in the same niche, even if you just do that more basic level, which personally is what I do, you'll still get, I would say, around about 20 to 30% less difficulty when you launch new products in that niche. And why is that? The reason is that you are going to get some sort of brand recognition, particularly if you have differentiators so that people can see when they're looking through those search pages, they can see where your products are and they're tied together, visually, same color, same style, something like that, some sort of design feature. People will instinctively recognize that, and they'll be more likely to click on it and to buy your product as well. From there, you can get your products frequently bought together with each other so that as somebody goes onto one of your brand listings, then they suddenly see all of your other products as well. And so that is just going to have this sort of cumulative snowball effect, which isn't hugely significant, but it does count for a lot. And it definitely helps if you're competing against someone who doesn't have that advantage. And not only that, you're gonna save so much time going into the same niche with complementary products one after another, because you already know the niche, you've already done the keyword research, you understand your competitors, you've got real PPC data, you've already got the branding done, so you don't have to do that again. And basically, you're just gonna save a lot of time and make it easier for yourself to launch these successive products. So given how easy it is to still get a lot of those benefits of building a brand without actually having to build a real brand, I would say at the start, don't limit yourself to only looking for products that you need to build this sort of big brand around. Don't be afraid to just go, even with just a single one-off cash flow product, if you think that product is going to make you money. There's honestly nothing wrong with just building that first type of business, that cash flow business, because again, you can scale it very quickly to still making you, a multiple six-figure income in a year or 2 years. And, I'm not going to turn that sort of money down. But do realize that brands are hugely valuable if you can do it right. If you can generate up that loyalty and create that audience, it does make your life a lot easier. And it's pretty hard to actually backtrack from a cash flow business where you don't have that strong branding and then create a strong brand around it already once you're already operating and selling those products. But here's the thing. It's pretty easy to either sell that business or just keep it running and keep it generating you that free cash flow. And what you can either do is sell the business and get a big chunk of cash. So most Amazon businesses will still sell for around 2 to 3 times net income. So if your Amazon business makes you 100,000 in a year, you can sell that business for 200 to 300,000. And that's cash flow products. That's not necessarily a really super strong, massive brand or anything like that. What you can do if you want to create a brand later on is then just sell that, take the money and immediately reinvest it into this brand. And now what you've done is you've taken the easier, faster, and more simple approach to start off with. You've generated not just the income that you've been generating over that year or 2 years or whatever it is, but now you've got this huge chunk of cash that you can immediately just throw back into this new business. And if you think that's the one that will take you to 7 figures or it'll take you to 8 figures, then that's what you do. And to me, that's the best approach because you get to take advantage of the business in a box, just the simplicity of launching an Amazon private label product. You get to develop those skills in a safer environment. And then later on, you're going to get a massive influx of cash to do whatever you want. And if what you want to do from then is pursue this longer term vision to build this brand, you've got the money, you've got the skills and experience, and you've got the time and everything available to do it. So that's how I would personally do it. And that's my answer to, is building a brand on Amazon just a waste of time? I hope that you found this video valuable. I hope you got something out of it. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to get more videos like this. Remember to click that little notification bell. So that's it for this video, but don't go anywhere. The next one's coming right up. It's going to be right there. So click on that and I'll see you in that video.